Hi, friends. How's everybody doing today? Hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? All right. Okay. Hope everybody's having an awesome day. I had a good day. I actually got to sleep in a little this morning, which was nice. And then I went and got some devil horns because Halloween's my favorite. And I think it's fun. And I also think wearing devil horns while reading the Bible is also fun. Because that's the kind of person I am. So, I'm going to wear my devil horns today. Yesterday I was Princess Peach when we played Smash Bros. So, I might just have to start, dressing up more. Because I love to dress up. And I might as well do it. Today we are going to read Exodus 35 and 36. I'm trying to remember the last things we read last time. Oh yeah, our last one was about Moses's radiant face. Sorry, my throat's all achy right now. Okay. Yeah, we learned about he went back up and he got the new 10 commandments, and they were completely different from the other 10 commandments. And then when he came down from the mountain from talking with God and seeing God's backside, he was radiating from his face, so he had to start wearing a veil because his face was so bright and glowy that people couldn't even look at him. And it looks like today we're going to get back into some Tabernacle stuff. It just keeps jumping around. It's like we were on the Tabernacle and then it jumped back to the story and now we're back on the Tabernacle again. So just back and forth through all of that. So we're going to read, I have the NIV version of Exodus 35 and 36. And if we want to talk about it or whatever after, we can do that. Hopefully you can hear me with my throat being all not great. And don't lose my horns. Alright, 35. Sabbath Regulations. Moses assembled the whole Israelite community and said to them, "These are the things the Lord has commanded you to do. For 6 days work is to be done, but the seventh day shall be your holy day, a day of Sabbath rest to the Lord. Whoever does any work on this day will be put to death. Do not light a fire of any of your dwellings on the Sabbath day." Materials for the tabernacle. Moses said to the whole Israelite community, "This is what the Lord has commanded. From what you have, take an offering for the Lord. Everyone who is willing to bring to the Lord an offering of gold, silver, and bronze, blue and purple scarlet yarn, fine linen, goat hair, ram skin dyes, red, and another durable leather, acacia wood, olive oil for the light, spices for the anointing oil, and for the fragrance incense. The onyx stones and other gems will be mounted on the ephod and breastplate. All who are skilled among you are to come and make everything the Lord has commanded. The tabernacle with its tent and its coverings, clasps, frames, crossbars, posts, and bases, the ark with its poles, and the atonement cover, and the curtain that shields it, the table with its poles, and all the articles, and the bread of the presence, the lampstand that is for light with all of its accessories, lamps and oil for light, the altar, the incense with its poles, the anointing oil, and the fragrant incense, the curtain for the doorway at the entrance to the tabernacle, the altar of burnt offering with its bronze grating, its poles, and all of its utensils, the bronze basin which it stands, the curtains of the courtyard with its posts and bases, the curtain for the entrance to the courtyard, the tent pegs for the tabernacle and for the courtyard, and their ropes, the woven garments worn for ministering in the sanctuary, both the sacred garments for Aaron, the priest, and the garments for his sons when they serve as priests. Then the whole of Israel community withdrew from Moses' presence, and everyone who was willing and whose heart moved, they came and brought an offering to the Lord for the work on the tent of meeting, for all of its service, and for the sacred garments. All who were willing, men and women alike, came and brought gold jewelry of all kinds, brooches, earrings, is that brooches? Brooches, earrings, sorry. Rings and ornaments. They all presented their gold as a wave offering to the Lord. Everyone who had blue, purple, or scarlet yarn, or fine linen, or goat hair, ramskin dyed red, or the other durable leather brought them. Those presenting an offering of silver or bronze brought it as an offering for the Lord. And everyone who had acacia wood for any part of the work brought it. Every skilled woman spun with her hands and brought what she had spun, blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, or fine linen. And all the women who were willing and had the skill spun the goat hair. The leaders brought onyx stones and other gems to be mounted on the ephod and the breastplate. They also brought spices and olive oil for the light, and for the anointing oil, and for the fragrant incense. All of the Israelite men and women who were willing brought the Lord free will offerings for all the work of the Lord through Moses had commanded them to do. Bezalel and Oholiab. Gotta love those Bible names, huh? I don't know how to say half of these things. I feel like I need to take like some sort of Bible class again, but like just to like pronounce certain names, because they just get the pronunciation is a very difficult thing to actually try to figure out sometimes. Then Moses said to the Israelites, "See, the Lord has chosen Bezalel, son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, and he has filled him with the Son of God, with wisdom, with understanding, with knowledge, and with all kinds of skills, to make artistic designs for work in gold, silver, and bronze, to cut and set stones to work in wood, and to engage in all kinds of... What? Sorry. Okay, and he has given both him and Oholiab, those weird names again, I don't know that name, son of Ahisamach, to the tribe of Dan, the ability to teach others. He has filled them with skills to do all kinds of work, as engravers, designers, embroiderers in purple, blue, and scarlet yarn, and fine linen, and weavers. All of them skilled workers and designers. So Bezalel, Oholiab, and every skilled person to whom the Lord has given skills and abilities to know how to carry out all the work of constructing the sanctuary are to do the work just as the Lord has commanded. Then Moses summoned Bezalel and Oholiab, and every skilled person to whom the Lord has given ability, and who was willing to come and do the work. They received from Moses all the offerings the Israelites had brought to carry out the work of the construction of the sanctuary, and the people continued to bring free will offerings morning after morning. So all the skilled workers who were doing all the work on the sanctuary left what they were doing and said to Moses, "The people are bringing more than enough for doing the work the Lord commanded to be done." Then Moses gave an order and sent his word throughout the camp. No man or woman is to make anything else as an offering for the sanctuary. And so the people were restrained from bringing more, because what they had already done was more than enough to do the work. The Tabernacle. All those who were skilled among the workers made the tabernacle with 10 curtains of finely twisted linen, and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, with cherubim worked into them by expert hands. All the curtains were the same size, 28 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. They joined 5 of the curtains together, and they did the same on the other 5. Then they made loops of blue material along the edge of the end curtain in one set. And the same was done with the end curtain on the other set. They also made 50 loops on one curtain and 50 loops on the end curtain of the other set. With the loops opposite each other, they made 50 gold clasps and used them to fasten the 2 sets of curtains together, so the tabernacle was a unit. They made curtains of goat hair for the tent over the tabernacle, 11 altogether. All 11 curtains were the same size, 30 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. They joined the 5 of the curtains into one set, and the other 6 into another. Then they made 50 loops along the edge of the end curtain in one set, and also along the edge of the end curtain of the other set. They made 50 bronze clasps to fasten the tent together as a unit. Then they made for the tent a covering of ram skin dyed red, and over a covering of the other durable leather. They made an upright frame of acacia wood for the tabernacle. Each frame was 10 cubits long and a cubit and a half wide, with 2 projections set parallel to each other. They made all the frames of the tabernacle this way. They made 20 frames for the south side of the tabernacle, and they made 40 silver bases to go under them. 2 bases for each frame, 1 for each projection. For the other side, the north of the tabernacle, they made 20 frames and 40 silver bases, 2 under each frame. They made 6 frames to the far end, that is, to the west end of the tabernacle, and 2 frames were made from the corners of the tabernacle at the far end. At these two corners, the frames were double from the bottom and all the way to the top, and fitted into a single ring. Both were made alike. So there were 8 frames and 16 silver bases, 2 under each frame. They also made crossbars of acacia wood, 5 for the frames on one side of the tabernacle, and 5 for those on the other side. 5 for the frames on the west at the far end of the tabernacle. They made the center crossbar so it extends from the end to the middle of the frames. They overlaid the frames with gold and made gold rings to hold the crossbars. They also overlaid the crossbars with gold. They made the curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and finely twisted linen, with cherubim worked in by expert hands. They made 4 posts of acacia wood for it and overlaid them with gold. They made gold hooks for them and cast them 4 silver bases. For the entrance of the tent, they made a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and finely twisted linen, the work of an embroiderer. And they made 5 posts with hooks for them. They overlaid the tops of the posts and their bands with gold and made their 5 bases of bronze. Oh, fun. It always, fascinates me that they need to put all this, information in. Because, I don't know. Did they just think that people in the future were gonna, want to know what that was? Or were they just doing that to, make people think, or know, how they built this thing, I don't know. It's interesting, but at the same time, it feels like it's not really something you need to write down in a book that is supposed to be, the book that is leading your life. But I don't know. I could be wrong. It is interesting, though. I mean, we wouldn't have any idea of how their culture actually, worked and stuff if they hadn't written this stuff down. So I guess that's an upside of that, is just kind of a historical record of those things and how they actually made them and how they actually, you know, spent time on them. And like they were very specific about, like, even down to like the bases and the, you know, certain poles and bases and cross beams, and it's almost like a full-on blueprint of what they actually used for their tabernacle. So, yeah, tomorrow we get into all the little things that go in the tabernacle, like the ark and incense and all that fun stuff. So, yeah. I do find it interesting that they said, like, people brought too much stuff for the tabernacle, because it's like, yeah, you have all these people and they all have stuff, but I feel like there couldn't have been that many people that they had such an abundance that they could do other things with it. Like, I don't know. I mean, for that time period, I feel like that's not realistic, but I guess nothing's realistic in the Bible, because it's not really. It's more of just like a guide of what people believed happened, as opposed to a guide of what actually did happen. And I know we can see that throughout like other histories too, because there's lots of other histories out there that show that the things the Bible claims aren't always true, because these other nations and stuff existed, and they have records that weren't destroyed. Like, they still exist today, so we know that some of these things were very much written down at a later period in time, and just they don't line up with what history actually says. Which, I love history, so that's always fun to look into those things and just see, like, oh, well, these other countries and nations, like, they don't have these things that the Bible claims these people had, so. But yeah, I definitely do need to still look into the whole Egyptian, like, having an influence, the Egyptians having an influence on the Israelites and their culture. But I guess if they're all living in the same, like, area, everybody would take things off of other people for different ideas. I'm really rambly today. My head's in like 10 different places today, so I don't know. Oh. I can't even remember, like, what was the first verses we read, because the last verse was talking about like the tabernacle and stuff, but the first verse was mostly the tabernacle too, huh? It's a tabernacle day, apparently. And then we had the whole, like, keeping the Sabbath day holy again, where if you work on the Sabbath, like, you're gonna get killed if you do anything on that day that God says don't do. So that's an interesting one too. It is interesting that a lot of the Old Testament God's laws are very much like obey or death penalty, because it's like there's no gray areas when it comes to that religion, which is scary. Like, I can't even imagine how many people were like put to death for things that they didn't do and things they didn't commit, but they were put to death anyway because the culture that they lived in honestly believes this was the right way to do it. I think that's one thing that I really struggle with the Bible too, is like, well, some of these, you know, ideas and stuff are talked about in church and things, but we don't really talk about, you know, the people. Like, even though not all these stories are true, like, I think there was a group or a tribe of people, you know, even if it wasn't the Israelites, if it was any tribes of people, and all of the horrible things like certain tribes did to people that just completely didn't they didn't understand like how important life really was, I guess, or that it was more important to appease their god than to allow someone to live, which is really sad because when I look at that kind of stuff, even though I don't believe everything in the Bible is true, I definitely believe that there were tribes that, put people to death for simple crimes that they didn't need to die for, or even innocent people that they put to death because they didn't understand, like, certain medical things or, how our brain worked and all that stuff. So it's really, I think that's really sad too, is because now that I'm a humanist and I can see, like, that, the most important thing is that other people matter and that you should care about other people. Like, seeing how people were treated in not just the Bible, but other holy books, like, they did not see other people, like, in a way that we would see them, where, like, their humanity and, like, this is the one life that you get, and I don't know, I think that's really sad, and I think it's extremely sad for, like, women in that time, because not only were they basically, like, slaves to their fathers and husbands, like, they also didn't get, the ability to live their own lives, and some of them were probably killed for things that people didn't necessarily understand at that time period. And that really is a scary thought, especially with me being a woman. That is one thing that I think about a lot, is like, I'm so lucky to live in a time period where I can be my own person and I can do what I want. I can, work a job, and I don't have anyone, like, trying to completely control my life, and I don't have any say in what I do or say or any of those things. And that is one thing I definitely think about more that I'm out of the church, is just how many, like, women might have lost their lives or their ability to be people because of these bad ideas in this book. And that's really sad to me, and it's really frustrating that it took humanity so long to see women as people. And I think even today it's a struggle, because we're still struggling with people who, they want to keep women in this box, and that's just not where our culture's going. And I don't think our culture should be going that way. Like, I think every person deserves to have rights, and every person deserves to live the life they want to live. And that's a struggle for me now that I'm outside the church, is that, women are people too, and the church is terrible about making women into something. Breaking the bubble. Yeah. But it's sad. It just makes me sad that so many people probably lost their lives because of that. Because of just bad ideas that people had in the past. And just the ignorance of not knowing what we know today. But, I can't go back in the past and change time and change things. I mean, if I could, I would. But I think that's especially, like, I think an important thing in America right now, because there are a lot of people, not where I'm from, because I live in a very liberal state, and I'm very grateful for that, but I look at these super conservative states out there that are taking away, the right for women to choose and the right for women to even do anything. Like, they think women should just be housewives and mothers, and that's it. And just taking away their rights is really gross and disgusting to me, and it's frustrating. And I'm really sorry if you live in a state like that, because I don't think it's right. I don't think that we need to go backwards, because when I look at the past, it's not better. It's very much worse. It was very much more violent. It was very much more destructive to, people just living and having their own humanity. Excuse me. And, I think that's true today, even for, like, the trans community and LGBTQ community. Sorry, I try to say that, but I don't say it enough. So, but yeah, just those people too. I feel like, because growing up, I was told those people were wrong and they were sinful, and that they, just because they live that way, they deserve hell. And I don't think that's okay. I don't think it's okay to tell anyone they deserve hell, because, well, I don't believe hell exists, but even when I was a Christian, I never thought, like, believing in hell was a good thing. Like, why should someone go to hell because of, the way they live their life? Like, I don't know. It's frustrating. And it's frustrating being on this side now, too, because it's like a lot of my friends and family are still in the church, and they're very, like, they're on board with all those conservative views, and they're on board with, like, women being mothers and housewives and not having to work outside the house, and, not being able to get medical care or abortions or anything else that they might need. And it's really frustrating to me, because they don't see people's humanity. They don't see that, these are things that people need, and taking away people's rights is not gonna do anything for this country. It's just gonna make it a lot harder to undo it if we don't stand up and do something about it. So I'm getting into a little spiel about politics now, but I don't know. I guess just reading the Bible makes me sad for anyone who was not what they thought you should be back then. And that really, I don't know, it kind of lights a fire under me to actually do stuff and stand up for stuff, and not just hide in the shadows and be like, well, this sucks, but there's nothing I can do. Like, I definitely try my best to, talk to people and help them see that this is not okay, and that things do need to change. And, it's not easy when everyone around you believes you're the one in the wrong because you don't follow a book they do, but at the same time, it's like, I don't need to follow a book to be moral, and I don't need to follow a book to believe what I believe. Like, I believe every human has a right to live the life they want to live, and I don't think you have any right to take that away from them just because you think you have the one and only true God behind you. Like, it's kind of ridiculous to me, but... And I'm ranting. Hi, awoken one. Yeah, that was my spiel. My devil horns are so shiny. I went to Spirit today and got my horns, because I was talking about that the other day. I was like, I really want to wear horns, because I think it would be fun to wear horns and read the Bible. And I don't know. That's just how I am. I'm a weirdo. I like to dress up, and I like to have fun. And I guess I can do that here with my friends, because they're willing to listen and just hang out. I do like Spirit, though. It's fun. They had like a whole wall of different, like, horns you could get. They even had, like, giant ones, and, like, ones you could, like, put in your forehead. Like, makeup, and then you put them in, and it looks like they're growing out of your forehead. See, that kind of stuff's fun, but it would take me forever to, like, get it to stick and stay on, and I'm just like, I'd rather just have simple ones. There was a really cute, like, tight leather dress there, too, that I thought about getting, because it was really cute, and it would go with these horns really good, but I should read the Quran. I'd have to get one. I don't have one. Maybe. I thought about it. I thought about the Book of Mormon too, because I used to have a Book of Mormon, but I lent it to someone and they never gave it back, so I'll have to get another one. But yeah, maybe. I've never read the Quran, so I don't even know what's in it. I mean, I've read some of the Bible, but I haven't read enough to like actually like fully know everything that's in it. I mean, it was interesting when we were, I was talking about in the beginning how a lot of the stories are just recycled and like told about other people, but they're the same stories over and over again, so that's always interesting to look at. Because in church, you don't look at that stuff. They don't sit up there in the pulpit and go, oh, there are like 4 different stories that all have the same, plot line, but they're all about like different people or different times. And it's like, wait a second. It's worse than the Bible, I bet. Well, I guess, I don't know, the Bible's pretty violent too, but I mean, they're both pretty violent books. But yeah, I haven't read the Quran, so I don't even know how much more violent it would be. But I definitely probably will read it eventually. I think it's important. That's a big thing for me too, is like knowing what certain things actually say. Because I know, like, in church, they're always like, oh, you need to know your Bible verses and be able to say them because, like, people will come at you. And, so yeah, it was very much drilled into me that you should have, like, I guess it wasn't really knowledge in church, more like just knowing what it says versus, like, actually reading it in context and figuring out what it actually means. Yeah, it's crazy to think there could be a more violent book than the Bible, but I guess there can be. I haven't read a lot of other, like, religious texts, so I did take a religious course, like, world religions course when I was in college, and we had a few people come in and talk. Like, we did have a Muslim come in and talk about, the 5 pillars of Islam and, his journey to Mecca and, things that he's done through his life. But it was basically kind of like, it was more like him just telling us about his religion as opposed to like, getting up there and doing a sermon or something. Like, it was just kind of about, the religion itself and how it has affected him in his life because he's been raised in it and he still does it and his kids are in it and stuff. So it is interesting, but no, they didn't get into like the violence and stuff. It was more educational than it was like, this is what I actually believe. But who knows? There's always different things, and I don't even know, there might be something worse than the Quran. Who knows? Like, I haven't looked into every single religion, but yeah, I'm just rambling over here now. So tomorrow we're gonna read about more of the tabernacle, put the stuff that goes into the tabernacle and how God wants it all set up and stuff. And I need to get through Exodus because I really want to do I think at the end of this, like, I might do like a viewing party with the Prince of Egypt because I think that would be really fun. We can all just hang out, eat popcorn, watch Prince of Egypt, sing along with the songs. So if anybody's interested in doing that, but I gotta get through Exodus. I don't even know how long Exodus is because we're like in the 30s. I don't know how long things are. Oh, we must be getting to the end. Oh, we're getting close. Oh, there's only 40 verses, so. Yeah, We should be done with Exodus pretty soon. So, maybe this weekend we can do a Prince of Egypt party if people are wanting to do that. We'll see. I think that'd be fun. And I'm a dork and we'll sing along with the songs and enjoy it. I just lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. So, if you want to follow me on Twitch, I'm Overprotected Atheist on Twitch. If you want to follow me on YouTube, Overprotected Atheist on YouTube. I just put out a new video today. It's Ezekiel and the dry bones, but I made it kind of scary. I made it like it's like a literal like interpretation of it, so that people can, see what it actually says. I just read the verse out, but I animated the verse so you could have more of a visual picture of what it was actually saying. I thought it was fun. And I'm learning that I really like to make scary stuff. So I might have to find more scary stuff in the Bible just to make, because those are fun. Facebook. I have a Facebook, Overprotected Atheist. I have Instagram, Overprotected Atheist. You can follow me on Twitter at OP_atheist. Is that all? Oh, and I have a website, overprotectedatheist.com. Yeah. I'm over here trying to talk. Yeah, so if you want to follow any of those, you can. I have a Patreon if you want to head over there. And Joshua. Ooh. Well, they have Jericho and Joshua, right? That's pretty violent. Just destroying a whole city by yelling at it. My brain is not working. Okay. I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon, night, day, wherever you are. Whatever time it is. It's my dinner time, so I gotta figure out. I guess I'm on my own tonight, so I can just eat whatever, do whatever, maybe. Boom, boom, boom. Yes. Jericho. I don't know. It's been a while since I've read Jericho. Every time I hear the Jericho, like, stuff, I always think about the VeggieTales Jericho now, where they throw the slushies on their heads and they walk around. The French peas. That's the Jericho I grew up with. The VeggieTales one. Not the, they walk around and actually blow horns and stuff. Because that's just, I don't know. I think about stuff as a kid and how they very much changed the way you see the Bible. And how it very much, like, changes your whole perception of what it's actually saying. So, as opposed to, like, it's a fun kids show telling you about Jericho, but we're gonna put slushies and stuff in it. Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of that is kind of made just to, like, suck people in, even though there's no, like, real value in it. But I could be wrong. I don't know. That's just how I kind of see it. And, if you suck kids in with nice little veggies, they're more willing, I feel like, to actually, like, believe what you tell them. Alright. I think I'm gonna be done ranting on things. Okay. I can't spell. Dun dun dun. Oh man. We're getting close to those. I think we're gonna read those pretty soon. I remember trying to read Leviticus at church and it was just, I did not get through it. It was too much, man. All right. I've got to go. All right, I'm gonna read, and then we will peace out. Maybe. Maybe not. It doesn't like me. I'm trying, but it hates me. It really does hate me. Trying to learn Twitch is hard sometimes. It's like, what? Oh, I did that backwards. That's why. Maybe not. I'm still learning all this, and it's just like, how do I make this work? Oh, there we go. Well, that's weird. Okay. I tried to do one, and it didn't let me do it. So I had to go to a different one. How odd is that? Alright, we're going to read Altered Written. Bye, guys.